Fresh from a big, massive win over Man City, Liverpool welcome West Ham to Anfield on Wednesday evening. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. I'm Anton, and this is your opposition preview where we bring on a guest and we just have a little chin wag. And without further ado, there's no point in me sitting here and trying to bring you as much Liverpool information as we possibly can. I'm going to bring you on the opposition fan, and he's a fan you all know very well. He's been on the channel several times, and if we did get the opportunity to give a hat-trick ball away, we'd probably have to give him 2 hat-trick balls away because he's been on that amount of times. Anyway, it's Jack. And now, listen, Jack, the channel name has changed a bit, hasn't it? Oh, you're muted, mate. You're muted.
Great start.
Yes.
Great start. Yeah, thank you very much for having me on, Anton. As I said, it's always a pleasure. Thank you, most importantly, for asking me to come on. And hopefully all of you hammers well, as well, most importantly.
Yeah, absolutely. So the channel's changed. The channel name's changed for yourself then. You've gone down a different route?
Yeah, change content the usual, but I tried to make it a bit more professional, if it kind of. but yeah, just as much as possible. Yeah, absolutely. Different change.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't already, go and check out Jack's channel on YouTube. He's all over all the social sites as well, so make sure you do go and check him out. Great content as usual, and a good friend of the channel. So thank you very much for joining us, Jack. But listen, it's been a very different start for Liverpool this season. You're looking over your shoulders. And it's also a very different start for West Ham. And you're looking over your shoulders, and we're West Ham are just behind you, but we're mid-table. What's going on?
I was joking before we come on air, mate, and it was about time we actually won a game of football. I think both of our teams have really struggled at the beginning of the season. So probably an accumulation of very similar in terms of injuries. But it's not an excuse of injuries. We've just been playing really poor in quite a lot of games. I think we've probably been accustomed to, especially as Liverpool fans, of our players hitting such great standards over the last 3 to 4 years, and we're not really accustomed to that. And when you've got the likes of Virgil van Dijk this season, Joe Gomez, Alisson, or every single player on the pitch probably has put their 2 pence in terms of poor performances. It was much better last night against Manchester City. It's just that we've gone into certain games, even the Fulham game, the opening game of the season, and just the attitude, it absolutely stunk. And that's very unlike a Jurgen Klopp side. I don't know how you lads are watching as a neutral, you're probably watching on Match of the Day and probably been shocked in reality in terms of the performance level that Liverpool have been very much showing over the last 3 seasons, mate. But it's not been good enough. We were 2 points off the relegation zone, and we deserve to be there in reality because the players have, as I said, not been performing, mate. But we were made up, and especially beating Manchester City. I know they'll probably go on to win the league, but I think in terms of our aspirations, I personally had us winning the league, but 8-9 games into the season, and we're a very long way away. But I think all of us have probably had to shift our goalpost in reality in terms of top 4 ambition. We've got to take one game at a time, most importantly, mate.
I think that's really interesting as well. It's like similar to West Ham in terms of recent years of performances. We've had a couple of good seasons in a trot, and we've started off a bit slow, although we're picking up a little bit. We're picking up a little bit of momentum. But I can't help but think as a West Ham fan, we're playing Liverpool 2 weeks ago. I would have said, great time to play Liverpool. You've come off a fantastic win at Ibrox at Rangers, albeit people will say it was against us, rain, all that sort of stuff. And, you've got to put a little bit of respect on teams' names within reason. And then coming off a very good win against Man City leading into the West Ham game at home in front of the fans. The fans were loud and proud at Anfield, the other day. So, I mean, there must be an element of confidence kicking in with the Liverpool fans and Liverpool themselves, and we're hearing things like Klopp getting the red card, but we think he'll still be in the stands, apparently, that he'll still be in the pitch side.
Yeah, obviously Klopp had missed himself after the post-match. He was wrong for doing what he done, but I think all of our managers have done something stupid on the touchline. It's part of football, it's emotion. I'm not saying defending what Klopp done, it was wrong, and he said that himself. Yeah, I'm going to be going on Wednesday night, mate, and I've been going the last couple of seasons, been very fortunate to go to grounds. And this season, the atmosphere, I don't know how it's been in terms of the London Stadium as well. When you go into certain games, whether it's an early kickoff or 5:30, different atmospheres. It's the way in which I dislike the way in terms of the atmosphere. I want it to be like it was last night, every single game. I understand it's not always going to be like that, but I just wish, and if I see, if Liverpool, if we got that atmosphere every single time, I know it's difficult, and especially most importantly, as I've already alluded to, the performances on the pitch. Most importantly, as football fans, your team needs to perform on the pitch, and that galvanises the whole stadium and your fans around the world. So, yeah, mate, I'm optimistic, but it's the way we've started this season. I'm going in with a lot of trepidation, really, and I think a lot of Liverpool fans will be doing that. Of course, we should be going in with this off the back of a good result, but we've been here before, as you alluded to, the Rangers results. Yes, it's Rangers, but it's a different kettle of fish when we're playing any opposition in the Premier League. We know the quality, and West Ham have showed that in the seasons. When you beat us, was it last season or the season before, at London Stadium anyway, and that performance very similar. We turned up quite arrogant, really. I felt from the players, expected to turn up, got rolled over, and quite rightly so. And I'm hoping the confidence, and especially the watching the players this season, it was always going to be difficult off the back of a mad season within 180 minutes of winning all bloody 4 trophies. It didn't happen, didn't materialise. 2 cups, fantastic, but it would have zapped a lot of players around European football. What that took out of mentally, in terms of physically as well. And you'd have to go again within a matter of a couple of weeks into the Premier League with the World Cup round the corner. So, yeah, I'm excited, mate. I'm made up, as I said, getting 3 points in. And I'm hoping this is the start of the upward trajectory in terms of, obviously, Liverpool's performances this season. But
well, I don't mind that upward. I don't mind that upward trajectory as long as it's after Wednesday, mate. But you know, what's interesting is since last season, we've lost Sadio Mane. You know, he loved the goal against West Ham. But you've got Salah, who has struggled this season, but then banged in, you know, a Champions League record of hat-trick against Rangers. Got a goal, a very good goal, and caused Man City a lot of problems at the weekend. And he also likes to bang in a goal against West Ham. But when it comes to West Ham, you know, West Ham have also themselves been busy in the transfer market. We're transitioning. We're trying to go for a 3rd consecutive season in my lifetime of finishing within the top 7 and qualifying for Europe if we can for the 3rd season in a row. We've bought some quality players in. What's your kind of generic feelings towards the West Ham situation and the slow but gradual process that we're trying to transition into?
Yeah, I loved Scamacca's announcement. I was watching from an illegal eye anyway. Gazzetta Sport, I think, was the Italian show anyway. It was a good announcement video as well.
They didn't make a spelling mistake in the initial one, so we had to do it again.
I'm dyslexic, so I'd probably make loads anyway. So my titles, so it's all good. But yeah, mate, it's very similar. I'd say. I don't know if you have watched from an outside point of view when you've looked at Liverpool. A different changes in system in terms of, obviously, as you alluded to, the loss of Sadio Mane. I think, as he said, Salah's not started similar, but I think Jota, he's looking like he will be missing the game on Wednesday night, and he will be missing probably more or less. We haven't got 100% the confirmation from the medical staff, but it's looking quite bad off the back of last night's performance. And he will be a massive miss. Darwin Núñez coming in, but very similar, mate, as he said, bringing in, as we said, you've got Scamacca and obviously certain other players as well, implementing them into your philosophy and trying to do something new. Because I think that's been labelled at Liverpool over the last couple of years, from me personally as well, in terms of we need a plan B, we need a plan C as well. And that's something that we're doing. We're changing formation. Either we've done a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-2-4, 4-4-2 formation. We have tinkered with that, especially against Rangers as well. And it's quite positive because something needed to change because we were playing drastically but very poor from all accounts anyway. And that has probably coincided with a different change in terms of results as well. It's great to see Darwin Núñez and obviously Mohamed Salah up front, and then it's either Carvalho on the left, Elliott on the right as well. It's a whole mixed bag, and it's I've been impressed. Not all the weeks, but especially over the last 2 week periods anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, you've mentioned it and alluded to the fact there you've got quite a lot of injuries in your side, as do West Ham. We'll have to wait and see what the update is of David Moyes' press conference. But defensively, we are struggling, and we couldn't have written it, to be honest, because we've got, for the first time in a long time, really strong centre halves, and literally every single one of them are injured. And we're having to play a makeshift defence. Now, the good thing about what David Moyes is doing this year is he's buying utility players, versatile players that can play all over the park, and that's really good. But it does have a knock-on effect to your confidence when you've got the solidified stone wall approach of our defence back there, and vice versa for you. So obviously losing Jota for West Ham's point of view is a positive situation. You never wish a player to be injured, though. That is the key element. But you alluded to the fact about Van Dijk at the back alongside Gomez. I know Gomez has had several injuries, but between them, they stepped up to the plate against Man City yesterday. How vital is for that for Liverpool season?
Yeah, massive, mate. Obviously, Joel Matip, everyone knows outside the Premier League, and even in the Premier League, he's probably one of the best centre halves in the Premier League when he's fit. It's just what day you get him on in terms of he's going to be out injured. So it will be obviously Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez. Gomez off the back of this season signing a new 5-year deal. And for me, him and John Stones, England by far two of the best of what England has to offer. I hope he doesn't go to the England World Cup, but if he is going, it'll be a massive boost for the England national side, because I think if he's fully fit, he's one of the best centre-halves in the Premier League in terms of being English anyway. But yeah, it's as I said at the top of the show, mate, in terms of Virgil van Dijk, he's been massively... He's not looked like the Van Dijk. A lot of people have said, is he waiting for the World Cup for Holland? And he's been playing with the handbrake on in quite a lot of games. The Man United game was an absolute disgrace in terms of just him being not as proactive, which is very strange. A player of that caliber when you've got a centre half not being proactive. But last night was positive to see. We seen it at Fulham. You give away a penalty as well, but it's especially when you got Virgil van Dijk making those mistakes. We do. I think a lot of people, even the neutrals as well, do have him in such high standing. And when you're seeing a centre half do the mistakes he's been doing this season, you're like, what's happening? And it's probably coincided with the form of Trent as well. He's been isolated quite a lot. A lot of teams have identified that, and that has helped in terms of last night. We've seen James Milner play down the right. Trent is more or less 50-50. He did come on at the back end of that City game, so it will look like potentially he will be playing right back, or will Jurgen Klopp put him a bit more higher up the pitch? We'll find out tomorrow, on Wednesday night anyway. So, both of them, fantastic, mate. It will be looking like it will be them. Andy Robinson's just come back from injury as well. Yep. So, looking really positive, mate. As long as we don't get any more injuries, the back line, we end up playing the kids.
Absolutely. So, on the basis of that, go for it, mate. Give us your predictions for the game Wednesday night, Anfield. Liverpool taking on West Ham, 8 o'clock kickoff under the lights at Anfield. The West Ham fans will be there in voice, and we always have been. It's just never been a great place for us to travel to. Hopefully we can turn that around. But go for it, mate, and it's fine. You can be as honest as you need to be.
I went 2-2 against City. A lot of Liverpool fans, obviously, you've got to go in optimism, but the form Haaland was in, mate, I was very concerned. But yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool, mate. As I said, we've not been playing the best, and I want to be positive, but I'm not going to escape the fact that we've been really poor this season. And hopefully this is the turning tide. The City game, but we'll find out, because what I personally don't want to see is another lackluster performance where we're turning up to Anfield and especially if the crowds are on song. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm going to be going on Wednesday. I'm going to sing me bloody heart out as much as I possibly can, and hopefully you get the result, mate. But safe travels to everyone coming down from London as well, mate. And as I said, hopefully it's not 3 points for your lads, but Hopefully we get a good game anyway.
Yeah, good man. No, good man. Listen, Jack, mate, we appreciate you coming on the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you go and check out Jack's content. We'll put a description in the title and in the description below. On top of that, if you are new around here, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that thumbs up. Give us your honest feedback. Put it in the comments and let us know. And if you're interested in becoming a channel member, hit that join option on there as well. And as we always like to do, we love to thank all our channel members for helping us out in the channel. Stay safe. And of course, come on, you Irons. All the best after the Wednesday's game, Jack.
See you later, lads. See you later. Yeah.
It's like a family tree.